memory or share something about Lauren, we welcome you to come up. The mic will be open, okay? First, I'd like to introduce Erica Cunha. Erica has been one of our lifetime long friends of Lauren, and she will speak first. Thank you.
Hi everybody. I'm not much of a preparer, but last night I couldn't sleep and I started typing furiously on my phone some notes and memories, so don't mind me while I look down. Most of you know Lauren and I go back to high school some 20-some-what years ago. I'm not going to say how many because then you know how old I am, and I don't think I want to disclose that information at the moment, but I was also Michael's friend. You know, Lauren loved Michael to death, and I know grew up with both of those kids, and they were very different people, although one and the same with the boisterous personalities and the big smiles. They could fill a room just with their presence, both of them, and Lauren was one of those kind of people that just, you know, you couldn't help to just be drawn to the moment she stepped into your presence. We all had really good times growing up here in Cocoa Beach. We're a small, tight-knit community. We, you know, this is the town where Kelly Slater's from. I don't know if you guys know who that is. You know, if you don't, ask Siri or Alexa, they can tell you, but he's one of the top surfers in the world. So, you know, every kid and every parent wanted to be kind of like Kelly Slater a little bit. So when there were waves, I remember like half the high school would be empty. And since we couldn't surf, we would, like, you know, skip school. What did I say that? Don't listen to that, the kids, you know. And go over to Michael and Lauren's house and play ping pong, you know. They were awesome at playing ping pong. My goal was to try to beat them, you know, and it happened like once in a while, but not very often. So growing up here is super special. We were really close, and some of us remain close to this day. I mean, we've been friends for a really long time. Lauren has been in my life, and we got closer, much closer after Michael died. We sort of like became very good friends, and I got to know Jean sort of from the very beginning, and we immediately formed a bond, and we were just, every time we would travel around, come to Chicago, we would get together, and it was like we've known each other forever. And I love you, Jean. Lauren, so many memories about Lauren, but one in particular was a baby shower we had from one of our friends in Colorado. We literally skidded on the icy roads, could barely make it to the house that we rented. Lauren couldn't sit still if you knew her. She was always like wanting to do something, so energetic. She proceeded to shovel the entire driveway by herself. Not only that, after she did that, she went outside and helped like get cars unstuck out of the snow and pushed cars around. And if that wasn't enough, she found a little slide buried in the backyard of this house. She dug it out of the snow. She brought the slide inside, cleaned it all out for my little toddler girl to have something to play with inside. And so she would, you know, Lauren was like helping her slide and clean this whole slide. It was amazing. And another memory from Lauren is my little girl loves to sing, and as if you know Lauren, you knew Lauren was a walking karaoke machine. She gave my little girl a golden microphone. It was like a little built-in speaker with the golden microphone, and my little girl just loved that so much, and we still have it to this day, and she sings in it, and we'll always think of Lauren for that. She touched so many lives with her never-ending smile and kind heart. And I know that the sound of her laughter will be forever etched in your minds as it resides in mine. We just love our Lauren. If she only knew how much love we had for her, she would be smiling at us today. She would be here. She is here with us today. She can feel the love from wherever she is. I love her, and I love you, Lauren Mott, to the moon and back. The magnitude of the love that we feel for you will never, ever fade. Thank you all for being here. We love you, Lauren.
All right. The next person I want to introduce is Sarah Dudley. She was Lauren's neighbor. Not by choice at first, but I think then by choice. Sarah and Lauren have been forever friends. And Sarah, would you like to come up and speak?
Yeah. Thank you, Dina Wrigley. Hi, I'm Sarah Dudley. So we moved here when I was about 6 months old, and I had the pleasure of living next to Lauren Lee Mott and Michael and Brian, who tortured me. It was a wonderful childhood, and knowing her, she was the sister I never had, which I have an older sister, but Lauren was the one that I would have chosen. And we'd play on the street. It was the perfect childhood where all the parents would come out and, Lauren, Michael, time for dinner. Sarah, come in. Floyd, Paula, everyone. And I just have so many amazing memories of growing up with Lauren. And some bad ones when her and Brian would tease me and they thought it was hilarious. I still can't listen to Run DMC, Dumb Girl, because of you two.
There's still time to get him, Sarah.
I'm still working on it. All right. And then I enjoyed when Lauren tortured my sister. She was babysitting Michael and Lauren was acting up, and my sister said, how about we play Cowboys and Indians? And she tied them up. And then she put on some Christian, like, church sermon. So Michael finally was like, I'm good. So she untied him. And then Lauren found a pencil and stabbed my sister 5 times, and she came home crying. So my mom had to go check on them and make sure they were okay. But my sister did eventually get back at her where she was swinging her around in the front yard and accidentally swung her into a palm tree. So Lauren and I always would reminisce about those good times growing up on Fairway Drive. And our whole entire life we stayed together. We would constantly talk, and my heart is absolutely broken. She was my angel. She was everything to me, and I honestly feel lost. And I wrote something. Not sure if I'm going to be able to read it, but I think of myself as a singer, but I'm horribly tone deaf. So I'm not going to sing this or put it to a beat, but I'll try and get through it. Bear with me. You don't know what I had felt. You don't know how I had dealt when you went away. My life was changed, my world was gone, but now you're gone and my whole world turned upside down. What do I do and who do I call? You were the one who seemed to have it all and now you're gone. You were the one I had there for me. Now to talk to you, I get down on my knees. One moment in time, that's all it took, was one moment in time. And I'm still shook. I want you back from the moment we first met. You are truly someone I will never forget. I miss my friend that was true to me. I just wish now I could honestly see where you were. We didn't know it was that bad. We didn't know you were sad. I would have stayed till we were old and gray, by your side holding your hand, and laughed till the bitter end. I miss you, but one moment in time was all it took. If I hadn't known, I never would have let you close that book. I miss you. Lauren was the most amazing person I had ever met in my life. She walked into a room and she lit it up. Every single person she met was her friend. When I go to Orlando, they're like, oh, you know Lauren? I'm like, you know Lauren? You're in Chicago. Oh, you know Lauren? Yeah, I know Lauren. Everyone knew Lauren. Yeah. And I mean, when she was a waitress, some of her regulars bought her a bike for like $2,000. Lauren just had this amazing sense to make everyone happy, and she wouldn't leave until everyone was smiling and laughing. So today I want us to smile and laugh. Yep. And remember the amazing spirit that is Lauren Lee Mott. LL Cool Mott. Which that's when we talk to each other, is LL Cool Mott. What up, Dudley? LL Cool Mott. What up, Dudley? And then I think we just hang up the phone. I think that was our conversation. So please, let's just celebrate everything that was Lauren. Love you all.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, well, looks like the third person is me. So I'm not going to introduce myself. I did write something. I'm very good at public speaking, but I can get emotional at times. Here we go. Lauren was a dear and best friend of mine for over 40 years. She was full of life and love. In the 40 years we spent together, we never argued and disagreed over anything. She was a true friend that always listened and had something clever to say, gave you a huge hug, and flashed that gorgeous smile of hers. So I didn't live in the community until like my 8th grade year, where Tasha and I thought it was a good idea to write my parents a letter from the President of the United States to move to Country Club. We signed it and everything. Total fraudulent. But I was so happy to be in that community because once I got there, in the older years, we would sneak out like every night and go right to the golf course where we would put SpaghettiOs in the holes and rig the Coke machines to spit out Cokes and play freeze tag. And it was fantastic. And we were out until like 1 in the morning all the time. Parents never knew. Don't listen to that, kids. I'm not sure. And when I moved down to the Caribbean and then came back, Lauren and I continued our friendship. And we would do girls' trip all the time, at least once or twice a year. A few of us would get together, sometimes out of the country, sometimes in the country, and really shared some like amazing experiences. Just amazing. But one thing I could always count on Lauren for is she would always run with me in the morning. And one of the last times we ran together, I came down, I had my running shoes on, it was about 6 a.m. And I heard them all out on the patio still. So I came out and I said, "Good morning, guys. It's 6 a.m. I'm gonna go for my run." And they were still drinking champagne. And Lauren said, "Hang on, let me get my shoes on." And she kept up with me all 8 miles. Tasha joined us for the last 3, said she ran 8. But that was Lauren. Lauren was always ready to run. Lauren was always full of energy, and Lauren was always ready to have a good time. It didn't matter if Lauren was racing, playing beach games, ping pong, or dancing. She was a true competitor and a real people person. She will always be my forever friend, and I will miss her. So the next person I want to introduce is Lauren's older brother, Brian. Brian is going to say a few words, and we appreciate his presence.
All right, so first of all, I'd like to thank Erica and Dina and whoever else helped put this together with Jean. I mean, you guys did a great job, and Lauren would have absolutely loved it, so thank you so much. Thank you for the Cocoa Beach community, my friends and family that came out. You guys have been through a few of these with us, so I appreciate it. So I'm about 6 years old. I live at Saturn Apartment over by 7-Eleven on A1A, and life is great. You have a condo on the beach. I'm looking at the ocean. Everything's great. We got a pool. It's great. Nothing could be better. So my mom says, "Brian, I've got great news." So I'm thinking we're going to Disney World, and I'm like, "That is awesome." And she breaks into, "You're going to be a big brother." And I said, "All I wanted was a turtle, Mom." So obviously I might have overreacted on that one, but it was great having those 2 guys in my life. Fast forward to I'm coming home from college, and I'm bringing Taylor for the first time to meet the family. And it's going to be great. She's going to meet the family, brother and sister. We opened the door, and it was a total nightmare. Lauren is chasing Michael around the house with a knife, saying, "I'm going to kill you, fatty boy. I'm going to kill you." It was, and she stuck with me, so that's just what happened in our house. It's a little bit crazy. Anyone that knew Lauren knew she had a lot of emotions. She went from extreme calm, mellow to extreme, like, I'm going to be the life of the party. I'm going to be enraged. I'm going to get upset about things. She went 0 to 100 at any point in her life. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen her as the life of the party, I would imagine. She liked to go hard. She just She was great. She would help anyone in need. But if you guys were in a line, I mean, she was all about the rules. If you're in a line and someone cuts in front of you in the line, there's going to be a confrontation. Lauren's going to have to say something to that person. It would never fail. But then leaving that place, did that happen to somebody over here? But when she left, she would be the first person to help someone in need. I mean, she would just help anybody. It was great. My family's on Pearl Jam Church today. Some of our, yeah, thank you, Pearl Jam. So we would go visit Jean and Lauren and go to Pearl Jam shows, and those were the most recent memories we had with her, and it was awesome. So we wanted to go get some merchandise, and Lauren said, okay, Mike, it was me and Merrick. And she said, okay, we're gonna go. 6 o'clock in the morning, knock, knock, knock. Let's go, guys. She had a cooler packed with sandwiches. She had chairs. She had a blanket. She had an iPad for my son. We get in line with the third party in there, right? 3 hours until it actually opened that we could actually do anything. But it was great because you never think about those times, you know, that you have with your siblings. That there's just kind of time. You had 3 hours to do that. And I wouldn't give it up. But I'll tell you, what you guys said is right. She never met anybody she didn't know. I mean, everyone was a friend to her. By the time we got to the front of the line, she knew everyone's favorite song, how many concerts they'd been to, their family, where they were staying. I mean, we would walk around after the show and people would just say, hey, that's Lauren. And I'm like, are you serious? So fast forward to the next day, we go to the show, and it's me, Merrick, Lauren, and Jean. And it just so happened to be, it was the week that my daughter was nominated for the Nashville Area Player of the Week. There was a lightning strike and they were going to delay the show. So everyone else is on their phones or talking. Lauren thought that would be a good idea to go to everyone in our section and say, hey, my niece was nominated for this thing. Will you guys vote for her? And not only will you vote for her, but will you give me a perfect stranger your cell number so I can text you the link? And not only that, but once you get it, let me know because I'm going to make sure you do it the right way. And 90% of the people in our section gave her the number, and I was absolutely floored. But my favorite story of Lauren is, has anyone heard the MMA story?
Yes.
Lauren's story?
I just recently.
Or is anyone there
I
by any
went to the
chance?
video.
No.
The video, yes. So,
Scream.
well, if you can find the video, that would be something. It was before social media.
I saw it, but we didn't get to see
So we are going to meet Melissa for the first time with Michael. It's a family trip. And we've got Lauren and Taylor and myself. And we're sitting around this TV and Lauren goes, hey, and anyone knows Lauren knows she skated around the truth of some of her stories. So she says, I got this great video. I was in a bar fight. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that sounds pretty cool. Mom, absolutely terrified. Did not want to see anything about it. I instantly knew it was a VHS. She popped it in. It was the best video I have ever seen in my life. I've never been so proud of my sister for so many reasons on this thing. So that's part of the story. The other part is when I would ask her years later about that and her eyes would light up and she had this big grin. She would love to tell the story. So now I'm Lauren. I walk into the bar and I notice there's a ring. And I'm like, huh, that's odd. Why is there a ring in the bar? So I go to talk to the waitress and they say, anyone can sign up for this thing. The only thing is you have to be 165 pounds, which Lauren never even was close to. But it went all the way up to like 195. She goes, well, I've got some stuff in the car. What do I have to do, sign a waiver? And then how much do I weigh? 165? Yeah, no problem. I weigh 165. And she tells me that she thought she was going to fight this girl, and it was going to be like they were going to be best buddies afterwards. It was going to be like WWF, where you kind of hang out and then you drink beers afterwards. So she's in the ring waiting, and she sees this entourage of people come out. And it's trainers, coaches, and all this girl's friends. And the girl is pushing 195, and she's a beast. She's enormous. And you guys have seen the video, so you know what I'm talking about. So they come out, and then she finds out that this girl is the champion of this bar, and she actually trains MMA like 5 days a week. So Lauren starts off, and she's really fit. She's like tap, 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 tap. It's really fun. And the girl hits her. She's like, ow, that kind of hurt. That wasn't very cool. And then she's like, tap, 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 tap. And she hit her again. And she goes, oh, this is real. So then Lauren goes from, she can go from a 0 to 100. So she starts, it's from tap, tap, tap to pop, pop. She's popping this girl, just hitting her over. The girl's on all fours on the ground. So now let's go back, and it's me watching this thing with Taylor and the rest of the crew. She's on all fours, and you see her put her mouth on Lauren's leg, and you see Lauren, who is a great soccer player, great athlete, she steps back, and you see her just kick this girl right in the face, and you see a tooth go flying out of the ring. And I was just like, that's the best. My mom is like, Lauren, how could you? So then Lauren goes back and tells us the story. She says she just saw red. She just instantly got red with anger. She stepped back, she kicked her. Next thing she knew, they were raising her hands, giving her prize money and saying, you have got to get out of this bar. We're scared for your life. We're going to escort you out. That girl's a champion. She's never been beaten. All her friends are furious. So then, like, up to 4 months later, she'd be like in Publix, and people would come up to her. Again, no social media. Are you the girl that knocked out that girl's tooth? So, I mean, that pretty much, that's her life right there, right? She goes in a bar. She's going to have fun, a life experience. I see a ring, I'm going to fight. I'm going to win, I'm going to beat a champion. Then I'm going to be a local legend in South Florida. And that's how she lived her life. There was always something fun going on with Lauren. But, obviously, we're going to miss her greatly. We're never going to forget her. We're going to always love her.
A legend.
Thank you very much. I do believe that girl bit her. Yeah, she bit Lauren. And, I know from experience, you can replace a tooth.
Did she drop your business card to the chick after she beat her?
Maybe 5 years later. Brian, thank you very much. The next person I want to introduce is somebody I actually just met this weekend who already holds a special place in my heart. He is the male version of Lauren. He is so sweet. His name is Seth. Seth and Lauren and Jean have been spending 4th of July together for a long, 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 long time. And I'd like to introduce Seth, who is already a true friend to all of us.
Yes, he is.
Yeah! Go Cubs!
Hey. What a beautiful day. It's good to be together to celebrate Lauren Lee Mott. And a celebration is exactly what she would want. Not so much to commemorate her, but to connect those who meant the most to her. What a gift it has been to know Lauren. We are all so lucky to have her in our lives and been a part of her life. And it's important that we now live out our lives in the way that she taught us to. Be carefree, tenacious, full of life, spunky, and a cheerleader. Smile, play, compete, teach, and most importantly, give. We know Lauren, and we can know and trust this is how she wants us to live. There's a couple of readings I want to share because I think they would mean a lot to her. The first is by Mary Oliver. I know someone who kisses the way a flower opens, but more rapidly. Flowers are sweet. They have short, beatific lives. They offer much pleasure. There is nothing in the world that can be said against them. Sad, isn't it, that all they can kiss is the air? Yes, yes, we are the lucky ones. Second is by the Dave Matthews Band. Want to pack your bags, something small. Take what you need and we disappear without a trace. We'll be gone, gone. The moon and the stars can follow the car, and then when we get to the ocean, we're going to take a boat to the end of the world. All the way to the end of the world. Oh, and when the kids are old enough, we're going to teach them to fly. You and me together, we could do anything, baby. You and me together, yes, yes. You and I were not tied to the ground, not falling but rising like rolling around. Eyes closed above the rooftops. Eyes closed, we're going to spin through the stars. Our arms wide as the sky. We're going to ride the blue all the way to the end of the world, to the end of the world. Oh, and when the kids are old enough, we're going to teach them to fly. You and me together, we could do anything. Baby, you and me together, yes, yes. reading from the book The Cubs Way by Tom Verducci. That night, not long after the final out, the heavens opened again, this time with more conviction. Many of the Cubs players, their families and friends lingered on the field in this hard, cool rain on this unusually warm November night. Joyful and relieved, nobody was in a hurry to get out of the downpour. They let it wash over them. It was a feeling that went far beyond Progressive Field. From the packed streets around Wrigley Field, where people, Lauren, had gathered all night around her sacred grounds, to the sons and daughters who watched with fathers and mothers in the biggest baseball television audience in a quarter of a century, to the many who wanted this night even more for the ones they loved and buried than for themselves, the faithful everywhere did not need the cool rain upon their skin to feel the change. And finally, one more poem from Mary Oliver, entitled Mysteries, Yes. Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of lambs, how rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. How two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads.
Thank you very much, Seth. That was very sweet of you. Lastly, I'd like to introduce Lauren's partner for over a decade. When we met Jean, she just fit right into the group. And Jean was a very, very, very important part of Lauren's life. And Jean would like to come up and say a few words.
Seth kind of got me with the song since it was our song. He didn't tell me that. Put the readers on. I was a little older than Lauren, but I'm not going to say. What? But most of the time when we went places, they thought I was younger. But that's sorry, Lauren. It shouldn't be about me, right? Obviously, we've had some time since Lauren passed, and I've probably gone through this moment a million times. There's just so much I want to share about her and her impact on me. I'm going to do my best to get through it, but you're all going to stay here until I do. It's not the whole book. Trust me, I got some work notes in here about the next deal, but you know, there's been so many stories shared over the last few months about Lauren, and one of, you know, when I first met her, she had these incredible stories, and I was just like, oh, that's so cute. She's just trying to impress me, like, because that can't actually be true. I mean, she didn't really run with the Olympic torch, you know. And then I'd meet family or friends, and verbatim, they'd tell the same story, and it was all true. The MMA, I mean, who does that? I don't know. So it was really kind of something, and so I thought I would share some stories about Lauren that meant a lot to me. It gives you guys a little insight into, you know, our 10+ years together, and hopefully you'll take away these memories and keep them in your heart. So, in the beginning of our relationship, I first should say that she changed my life forever, opened my eyes to many different things. I was a little, you know, closed person, I guess. She changed me. But in the beginning, what I think I liked the most is she actually thought I was perfect. you know, in the newness stage, and we both thought each other was perfect, so we give each other these little pet names, and just, you know, that was so cute. I am definitely going to regret this, but I was Scrumptious Nugget. And I see all of you out there going, I can see that. She, for whatever reason, was Poop to me, or any variation, Pooper, Poopmeister, Poopowitz. I mean, we just kept going, and we would just laugh so hard. Still on her phone today, when if I would call her, it would come up Scrumptious Nugget on her phone. So we kept those. And then, you know, you get past that perfect stage. I'm looking at some of my friends I know are in relationships, and then you kind of move on. There's some realities, and you're like, I wasn't perfect, which was hard for me to accept. So then we moved on, and we gave each other new middle names. Mine was Half-Assed, which was basically for any household task she asked me to do in our entire relationship. Yeah. Now hers took a little longer to come about. She was, I don't know if you guys know, she was in college when she first came to Chicago to get her teaching degree. So she was at DePaul University. And so her life was different than mine, because I was kind of, you know, working my job, but she'd do her classes and then come home and really spend hours studying, but she wanted to have the news on, so she would learn, you know, more. So when I would come home at night, she would, you know, share some of the news, and it just always seemed a little off. And I, like, are you sure it was Iran? And not Iraq? And then it would be like, well, it doesn't, like 2 feet of snow or 2 inches? And she looked at me, she goes, well, at least I got half of it right. So she actually named herself, she called herself 50%. And we, you know, that was fine. And we would laugh so hard. And because it came, you know, throughout a relationship, I would look at her and she'd say 50, you know, and so that's how we were. So that's a little of our little beginnings of our relationship and the nicknames. You've heard from everybody today, and even just walking around, just how unique. I mean, unique isn't even the right word for Lauren to me. Like, I know I'll never meet anyone like her. She was incredibly capable, creative, and hardworking. You gave her something to do, and you know, she basically didn't sleep until it was done. Some of the kind of, I'll go through some stories of what she was. She was a builder. I don't know if you guys experienced a lot of that, but I was on a longer than usual business trip. It was a 3-nighter versus a 1 or 2-nighter, which gives her a lot of time to think and build. So I came home from that trip, and all she wanted to do was get me up to, we live in Chicago in the 4th floor, and then we have the roof deck. She's like, had to get me up to the roof deck. We got up to the roof deck, and there we walk in, and there is this beautiful pergola on our roof deck that she had built with benches and everything. And I first of all, I was just amazed. And then it was like, well, who helped you with this? No one. I just did it myself. I mean, it was the physical and mental effort that it took to build this great thing was just unbelievable to me. And I think I loved her more then than I ever had before. I was like, this is a really cool thing, because she was always building things to make our lives fun, easier. So she always had that in mind. She also, I don't know if everyone knows this, she also built a boat. How many people out here have ever built a boat? Right, not many. So she started, it was probably, I think, I know Wendy's out here somewhere, but 3 summers ago, she grabbed her best friend Alex, who is Wendy's son. I think he was 12 at the time, 11 or 12, and decided they were going to build a raft for our little fishing pond up in Michigan. And so, you know, they disappear, and we come out, and they are, you know, floating on this fishing pond. Well, you know, I don't know, Wendy, if you've ever forgiven us, like Alex had no life preserver on or anything. He's floating in the middle of this pond with my white dog, Brody. And I'm like, oh my God. But it worked. It was seaworthy, and we had that raft for a while. But again, going back to Lauren, that wasn't enough. She had to actually build a real boat. So that later in the summer, she built an actual fishing boat that also was in our pond, and it was an amazing. I'm like, how'd you learn to do that? Oh, you just Google it, and she did it, and she was pretty amazing that way. But I think so. A builder, and the other thing of anyone that knows Lauren, she was a teacher. I don't think there's anyone that I've ever met who was better with kids than Lauren. Whether she was in the classroom or out on the field or really just anywhere there were children, she had such an impact on them. Rather than talk about all this impact, I probably 2 months ago was going through some of her things and came across just a grocery bag that was full of letters from all of these kids that she had taught over the last few years. And it just came to me, it's like, what better way to kind of honor her than to capture some of these thoughts by the kids. And so if you guys are out and about, looking around, there's just a little book that my good friend Julia helped us create that captures some of these notes from these kids. But I wanted to read just one of my favorites. It starts with, "Dear Miss Mott," which already is great because her little ones used to call her Miss Mop. So that they got her name right. We were like, oh yeah, this is one of the brighter ones. So I get that on. Of course, that's not what Lauren said, but "Dear Miss Mott, I learned so much I gave some to my brother. What I loved while me and the class were with you is that you taught me to never give up. If I had a power, it would be to switch bodies. I would switch bodies with a kid that's at your next school, Derek." I mean, you guys, this is just one of their amazing, amazing tributes to just who she was. Brian definitely touched on this. Lauren was incredibly generous, and she really almost redefined what generosity was to me, because for those that do know me, like, I'm first to pick up a bar tab, not last night, because it was really about me, but or give a stranger a 20 on the, but that has little or no like sacrifice. Lauren wasn't like that. She would give you the shirt off her back. The more prized or favorite possession it was, the more willing she was to give it to someone. Honestly, it made me scared of how vulnerable she made herself, but that was Lauren, and there was nothing I could say or do that was going to change how she was. She was going to be that generous person, and it wasn't about money or things at all. She gave her time all the time. Like, my sister moved into a new house. She helped her put the floor in. She redid all of her landscaping. Lauren was always there for everyone, and never expected anything back. And that's also an amazing trait that I loved her very much for. And just want to talk just one other quick story just about her generosity. So when she was still in school, she was an assistant coach for a middle school, I think, basketball team, girls basketball team. And so she loved coaching, as everyone knows. And one of the little girls had shared with her that she wouldn't be coming back next semester because her mom couldn't afford the tuition. Well, I didn't realize, but in her assistant coaching position, I think she got a little stipend. I think it was $1,500. Lauren when she heard this, took $1,500 where she had not earned money in a very long time, and just, it would have meant something to her. I'm sure there was some use to it, and went and donated it. Went to the principal, asked, how can I give this money to this family? And did that. She came, a few days later, we were talking about it. She said she had done it. I was like, oh, what did the mother say? And she's like, oh no, they don't know that I did it. And the mother and the daughter never knew that she had, again, as I said, she just never expected anything back, and gave and gave. I miss her so much. Briggs and Brody and our family, we miss her every day. And I loved her with my whole heart. Thank you guys. Thanks.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you to everybody that spoke. I know it's hard up here sometimes talking about feelings. I would just like to open the mic to anybody that would like to come and share something, whether it be brief or long, about Lauren or a memory you have of Lauren. Don't feel pressured.
How long do we have this house rented for?
I fly out Monday. If anybody would like to come up, maybe we can dedicate the next 10 minutes to an open mic before we play some music, eat some food, and continue the celebration. Oh, here we go. We gotta take her.
Who wants to go after Jean? This girl right here. I'm Catherine. I'm one of the fortunate few people that got to travel with Jean and Lauren over the last 10 years. We had like a small group of people that we knew we were good travelers together. And you all know, like when you travel with people, especially for the first time, you're like, I don't know if I can travel with them again. Anyway, we had a really good group of people that we traveled with, and I was thinking, reflecting on, what Lauren meant to me and meant to this group, and compassion, by far, and everybody's talked about this, but she literally would give you the shirt off of her back. And when you travel with somebody like that, that's amazing. Whenever you needed anything, like she was the first person to, run and get you whatever you needed. But most recently, we were all planning to go to the Women's World Cup Finals. And Lauren was so excited about that. And she couldn't wait, and it was getting close to the time that we thought that our women's team was going to be in it. So she started working on an outfit, and she was working on 2 outfits because she knew, that she was going to wear one, and then my wife, she knew she was going to make it as crazy and as on-air worthy as she could, that my wife would wear the other one. And Lauren didn't make it to the world. She was in spirit with us for sure. But Colette wore this outfit, and if you haven't seen it on Facebook,
Fantastic.
it is. She contributed these American flag yoga pants, but the rest was Lauren, and it was this belt that's inside these Wonder Woman collar, this American flag, and we went to the Women's World Cup pre-party, and everybody wanted to take pictures with her. They said it was like the best outfit ever, and it was, and it was just amazing. Life of the party, that's the other thing I obviously think about her. We went to Italy for Colette's 45th, and my brother, he brought this, there were like 35 of us, and my brother brought this big afro. I'm not going to tell you what he did with the afro before she wore it, but she put this afro on, and she's just basically walking the streets of this very small village in Italy, and she met every single person in this village in this big black afro, and she was so happy. It was just the most amazing thing. It was Lorenzo was her name. That's right, I forgot about her name. She called herself Lorenzo. It was just, she made everybody just smile. And the third thing I can think of is that I know she's still here. I travel to Chicago a lot, and whenever I do, I don't stay in a hotel, because why would you if you've been to Jean and Lauren's place? Like, the hotel would be a downgrade. And so I was recently there. Jean had gotten Cubs tickets for me and a supplier partner, a customer of ours, and we all went to the Cubs game, and we came back, and my customer and other coworkers had left, and Jean and I were like, let's just go up and play some bags. And the funny thing about bags is that Jean and I have been partners playing against Amy and Lauren for the last 10 years, and our score literally is they won 100 and we won 10, and I might be exaggerating, but we won 10. And we started throwing bags against, we were playing kind of against each other, and I was literally I was playing better than I ever played before. I was literally just tossing them in the hole that you're supposed to toss them into. I didn't even know how to keep score. It was amazing, and I've never played that well, and I know that she was, looking down and just so excited that we were doing that. And the second thing is last night, guys, there was not a chance of rain last night. And as soon as you guys came into the restaurant last night, there was just this mist of rain. And it was just beautiful, and then it stopped. As soon as everybody was there. And I know that was her. And that's how I'm gonna remember her, when there's no chance of rain, and it's a sky like this, and there's a little bit of mist. That's her telling us that she's still here with us. So, I just love you. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to share a thought or a memory? Little Kel's coming up. She's been tattooing. Little Kel. She has been tattooing everybody. Lauren always called me Tina. So that's what I have. So if Lauren had a nickname for you, please let Lil Kel write that on your arm or somewhere visible.
I am standing. Does anybody have a phone that I can take a selfie with? Hey girl. They are listening to you. They feel you. They love you. Damn, you made an impact on these people. So, for all those thoughts that you've had, it's true, they came true. Love the shit out of you. I have tried to get to know all of the people in your world, but damn, you are a popular girl. I cannot keep up. And then they can't find me because I'm all short and I'm all like, man, that's Lil Kel. Hey, all of you made a big impact on Lauren. And if you would stand behind me for a selfie and show your names and show your love, this photo's for her. Just stand behind me for a second if you would. Just gather together. Stand behind me, please. I'm little, so compact. That's all I got to say. Just all I gotta say is compact between these two poles right here. Two poles. And no matter what, seen or unseen, you're seen. You're seen. Raise your hand. All right, girl. We're gonna hold those forever. I have been so blessed to have spent a lot of good time with Lauren. And what is so cool is she is the most honest, true, caring, loving, soulful individual. And even though she hurt inside and so much was going on with her, she always found a way to spin it in a positive towards you and to make sure that you were good in your life. And I hope that we all walk away knowing that every moment that she touched our lives, and for all the moments that she's touched the kids' lives, that we all cherish and carry on her mission and her love and her word. And thank you for giving me, Lauren, the opportunity to meet your people, your friends. And we love you. We got you. Peace. By the way, I'm borrowing my friend's Arkansas cup, but I love the Gators.
And I love the Gators too.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Broke my neck again.
Does anybody else want to step up and share thoughts?
Hi, I'm Wendy. So, Gene and Lauren came into our lives, I'm not even sure how long ago, 6 or 7 maybe, and immediately it was like we were a family. In fact, my mom's maiden name is Mott, and so we always joked that, you know, we were cousins or something, and at some point we actually did a DNA test, which did not connect us in, what's that? Yeah, we got together for it, it was like the big reveal, and it revealed that we weren't cousins. we weren't related at all, which I find surprising. But anyway, we decided, science, schmience, whatever. We're family, and even my kids, when we get together for dinner with Gene and Lauren, they refer to it as we're having family dinner. And we have a house in Michigan, and they bought a house nearby. Our driveways meet at the end. And it was interesting to me. Our kids had gotten to the age where they didn't really like going over there very often because there was nothing to do, there's nobody to play with. As soon as Gene and Lauren moved in next door, all of a sudden Michigan was fun again. They were happy to go. They basically, and they would only go if they were going to be there. And the thing I think most about Lauren, when Jean referred to my son Alex as her best buddy, that's how it felt. Like, whatever he wanted to do or play or build or make, she was right there making it happen. He's a very competitive kid. She's a very competitive kid. I mean, they were always partners, and she made him feel special. And I think, I think he thought that he was her favorite. And I think what I take away from a gathering like this is that's how she made us all feel, that we were all her favorite. And so I didn't know what I was going to say when I came up here, and I still don't. I don't know how I'm going to wrap this up, other than she's family, and we love her and we miss her.
Would anybody else like to say anything? We're going to be playing a playlist of some of Lauren's favorite songs. Jean had recommended some of their favorite songs. I put some of my songs. And so, don't anyone complain about the music. Tasha. In case we don't get to talk, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody for coming out and showing your support to Lauren's family who's here, Lauren's extended family, and friends. And I just hope that everybody enjoys themselves. There's food, drinks, and we're going to be playing some beach games. That was Lauren's favorite. I'm hoping there's no injuries. They were a little aggressive and would escalate quickly.
Lauren typically says she sees 2 goals. If someone needs to get the shovels out, she'll be back in 30 minutes.
Right.
Ready to hold.
Right, yes. And just thank you very much, everybody coming out, and let's just remember to celebrate Lauren's life, not just today, but every day. Thank you. Just one more thing, the food is catered inside, there's plenty of it, so please don't be bashful.